Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Threadlings of Filmmaking Production Diary. I'm Miguel Ortega and this is Tran.
Hello, everyone.
Tran is you seem more awake today.
I don't know about that.
How's everyone doing? Ruben, how are you?
We just got Ruben in the house.
We got Ruben in the house.
Just to show you guys what I'm working on. I never completed all these masks. Like I made a bunch of them. This one is complete
Damn, those things are awesome looking.
in terms of texturing. And then this last one, I just didn't finish it. So I'm just trying to finish it and get into substance. So the way these are structured, like this was made in Marvelous. These were just modeled. And then I have this shell that's underneath. And right now I'm just prepping that. So I have these two halves.
So like the whole beak, that's not, there's no underlying mesh for that. You're just kind of doing that.
Well, there was initially.
There was, okay.
I think what I did when I cleaned these up, I just chopped them off.
I see.
So I didn't finish the inner mesh. I just got tired. And then now today I'm just gonna finish this inner mesh and then clean this up. I mean, this already has UVs. Right. And then the UVs are mirrored. So they're mirrored, so you only have texture one side. And then your texture time is cut in half. So yeah. But anyway, so what I'm doing right now is a little bit funky. Let's hide these two. This is the mesh I'm trying to clean up. I want to chop off. I chopped off one side of the ears because it just makes more sense. And then I would chop off the beaks. And when I was chopping this off, I just thought it made more sense to kind of do it at this angle. So this is an instance here of this shape. And I'm just closing this mesh, looking at top down instead of like looking at like this.
Why are you chopping it off?
It just doesn't, so it doesn't interpenetrate.
I see.
You know what I mean? Because like the cloth is really close to the beak. And it just is cleaner to cut it off. And then I won't have to worry like, oh, that part of the thing cut through the mesh because it was so close.
I see.
Anyway, what do you think? Miguel?
I think the owls look incredible.
Yeah. And you call them what, the Owl Brothers?
Yeah. So the reason why they were owls is because owls eat moths. That's one of their natural prey. And we have these two brothers that wear these masks. You have 3 masks now.
Yeah, I have 3 masks. And this is like the one that's hasn't been complete. So now I just got to clean it up. So that's this one. So basically I'm just using the stream to like clean up small tasks because it's productive for my time.
Bobby says, love the owls. Great attention to detail, Tran. Wonderful work.
Thank you.
I agree with Bobby. I still have no idea why you chopped off the ear.
Because why would I want like it just is cleaner like to have that part be hollow like that.
Oh, I see. So that's like the inner mask.
Yeah.
I see.
And I just don't want.
I see.
I don't want that shape to go, oop. Just,
I see. Yeah.
Because they're so close to each other, you know what I mean?
I see.
It's just one of those things like just through experience.
Yeah, that when something can go wrong, it will go wrong.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, let's not do that.
I see.
I'm counting my edges so that I can close this. I have an instance right now, so all my numbers are like double. It's 2016. Yeah, so not super exciting, but that's how it is.
Hey, that's what it is.
Okay, let's close this one too. Maybe I could do with less. One, two, three. Now I'm just counting my edge loops.
Counting the edge loops.
But yeah, that's it. Oh, right, not correct number here. Let's close these. I do wish like I had like some alternate like tools for remeshing. Like I'm kind of starting to feel like this is not the fastest way in Maya anymore. Like there has to be some other program that's a little bit faster at this stuff.
There's something therapeutic about it, though.
Yeah. Okay, so that's good. I don't have that even out. So what I'm going to do is just grab this one, just duplicate it, and then, because I don't want to just hit the smooth. And then I'm just going to smooth this one. Just a duplicate. And one more time.
Netbug says, "Hey guys, good to see you kicking. Thank you, Netbug."
I think it's going to crash. I smoothed it too many times.
Oh, it didn't crash.
Okay, so let's make that live. And I'm just going to grab this and smooth this out. So it just snaps that surface. Okay. All right, so this guy's done. And I only need to do half of this. Let's just put an edge loop here. Oh. Okay, froze. That's what I mean, like, I get this all the time. See, my screen just froze, like, on small task. And I didn't save anything yet.
You didn't?
No. Okay. And that's it. Like, this is not going to recover.
You don't think so?
No. I should have saved. I just didn't think I was doing anything heavy when I wasn't. I just put an edge loop on it and it crashed. I get crashes and freezes all the time. Okay, this sucks. I'll just do it like I have to start over because I didn't save. All right, so I mean, it's fine. I didn't lose like a ton of work, but it still sucks. That's why I was like, okay, I'm ready to like use something else.
Maya always crashing on the simple operations.
Yeah, like just all the time. Like, what am I doing? That is so hard on it. Yeah, it's not that heavy. So Ruben's like poly count is like, What poly count? Okay, I'll just start from the beginning. I'm just going to instance this. So what I'm thinking is to chop it off from here, from this loop. And again, you only need to do half. And I just want this to be like flat. And then I do this all the time where I will instance it. So these two are still connected. And because I'm looking at the shape and I'm thinking like, oh, this is if I model at the other angle, it's kind of tough.
Yeah, that's clever.
Oop. Okay. I don't know. Like, I feel like not too long ago, like a few years ago, Maya was like okay still, you know, like it didn't crash like this all the time.
You're also dealing with a lot heavier geometry.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Okay, that's better. Let's slide this down. No, I just noticed like instancing it used to be like really dependable and now it's kind of it crashes easy now.
Why do you have to close it? Why can't you just leave it like that?
It really just leaves a hole and then like all of a sudden there's a shot and mass flies out and then you just see it's just like it's just one of those things. If you don't do it right, it like catches up on you later. And we had plenty of that on Voice in the Hollow. And then you're sitting there trying to patch it like way after the fact.
You know, we've been doing some tests. I don't have it to show, but just doing a bunch of renders without motion blur turned on lately, and we're kind of loving it.
Yeah.
Like just rendering it and really making it feel like stop motion. And we actually think we're gonna go back and re-render it without motion blur.
To get a more stop motion look.
And also rendering it on twos, so leaving every frame for 2 frames. We don't have to do it for everything, right? We could just do it whenever the hell we want.
Yeah, so we, you know, in Voice in the Hollow, we didn't we went with motion blur. But I felt like it was because of there was a running and chasing, and then when we tried to do that sequence, I don't know. I think Voice in the Hollow too, it was like so hard to light everything that you
Oh my god, it feels like a completely different program. Like on that one, it really felt like an old tool. It felt like it wasn't ready. Now the light behaves more or less the way you want it to behave, right?
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, that looks good.
it's still not quite as nice. It still has like some like you have to be careful when you're in the shadows.
Chatty on fire. What's up, Chatty?
So this is 4 subdivisions. $16.16. Let's save this. Yeah, I remember like I don't know, it was just really hard. And when we did Voice in the Hollow to do anything. But now like those tests that Miguel were talking about look really cool.
Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second.
We're not sure like how that's going to work out. Like my concern about going on twos, so that what would happen is we wouldn't have motion blur anymore, because it would look really weird, and and then there's certain sequences that just look really good when with like the blur, especially it makes it feel fast. So in Voice in the Hollow, like when there was a chase sequence in the beginning, it just felt like without it, like it didn't feel dynamic. That like we wanted the blur for the speed. Okay, let's go back. So gone back to the part crashed. Let's save. It's also the other thing, like I started like noticing, like when you work in Maya, you have to constantly delete your history. And then the whole concept of just constantly deleting your history, like you can never go back. I realized like that's not like that with like other software. And then I started to realize like how not efficient that is. And it makes sense that you want to preserve some of your history. Okay, that's even. I just want to even out the inside here.
Did you save it?
Yeah, I've been saving. Okay, let's delete that.
Bobby says he's been busy. Lot to work over here.
That's awesome. Well, lots of work is usually a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's chop off the beak. So I'm going to do the same thing. Just find from which point that's easiest to like.
The loopiest.
Probably this loop right here. And I don't think I did anything with the eyes. Okay. Bobby says, yeah, it's picking up good times. That is good times. Okay, here's my beak hole. You want to try modeling, Miguel?
My modeling days are done.
I'm not sure this looks good, like straighten out like that, but I think it's better than having it be all wobbly. Just make sure it's like smaller. Okay, so I only want half of this. I just have to make sure I'm dealing with half. I'll do that cleanup later because I can see it's crooked. Okay, so that's my half.
Yeah, work is seems to be picking up for everybody.
That's good.
Bobby saying. Yeah.
I feel like the industry always has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, I don't know, when things were like,
I remember when everyone was terrified, when I was like at Rhythm and Hues, everyone was terrified that all the work is going to overseas.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, this is the end, this is the end. And that was almost 17 years ago. So that end never came.
Yeah. There's always like a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, of course. But when we were, yeah, you're right. That fear was a big thing about being replaced by like really underpaid, cheap labor.
Yeah. It
But,
just never happened.
yeah, because I don't think I think it takes a lot of skill. 1, 2.
It wasn't just a skill thing. They realized that once you factor in like all the miscommunication they kept having because of just misunderstanding certain cultural notes that they would give, or I don't know.
I think
I
there's
don't
like,
remember what it was, but I remember that they were like, oh, that certain things were just very hard for them to get right. And then once you factor in all the back and forth, it ended up being the same.
yeah. But I guess what I was mean, like in terms of skill, is like you can never have just like artists need to be trained and skilled. Like you can't just pick up whoever and then just try to get like everyone trained to a certain level. That
Yeah.
takes years. Like I remember when we first moved to Vancouver, there wasn't, and that was like the beginning of the industry. There was like a lack of people that live there that did CG because was not where like the industry was at.
We had like every good modeler in Vancouver working at Digital Domain.
Yeah. But it was initially, it was like just not easy to find people because they just didn't live there yet. Now, of course, like there's a lot, but initially it was like very few. And I think, if you think about like what it costs to go to school to get trained, that's what it costs to actually become good. Let's save. Do the same thing here.
Damn, look at that 10-point junction.
Oh, you mean this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was auto remesh. Like I just didn't care.
No, I know.
Like I still think I'm being kind of lazy with these meshes. And Miguel's like, who cares about like, well, I want to do the minimum. Miguel is like really good at retopo. You can retopo all of this.
I could retopo. I was really good at it. Like I see like you like count and stuff like that. Like I would never count, but it would always line up. I would just it would like kind of like intuitively come together. It was funny. You're so much more precise about it. I was like, la la la. Oh, look, it fits perfect. Like I guess somewhere in the back of my head I was keeping count, but I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, this is not a performing mesh. This is a cap mesh.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have that. I'll just delete this guy. Well, let's delete the live service. I'll delete my
I think
history.
Bobby means that he doesn't have the social media stuff. I think.
Oh, I see. You're listening to the chat.
Oh yeah, I'm in the chat.
Hey, what are you talking about?
Hanging out the boys.
Okay, I think I got half. Let's delete that. And let's clean this up. So I think that last time I didn't finish this because I didn't want to do this step. So that's what happened. It's like, I don't want to, I don't know, I don't feel like it.
You're like, screw this.
I mean, this is just flat. It could be better, but at least it's not the lumpiest thing. I think I'll just use like these smoothing tools. And I think this is like the things I wish were a little bit better in Maya, like just the sculpting tool could just be a little bit better. Like if everything was slightly a little bit upgraded. So I'm just smoothing it. It shrinks the edges. Okay, let's fix this. All right, cool. Okay, that looks much better. It won't look as bad.
They did port over Mudbox. Mudbox is like technically in Maya, but it's all clunky, but it is there.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's all the tools, the same names, everything are still in there.
Yeah, but it's like doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't feel the same. Like
It just is like, ugh.
You know what they did to Mudbox to me is still so heartbreaking. Like that tool was so badass, and they just bought it and
destroy, like killed it,
they didn't destroy it. They just left. They just didn't develop it. Like
abandoned it.
they abandoned it. Like the layering system and all the stuff that it had was so powerful.
Yeah, the layering system is still like, the thing is, it doesn't have to be a ZBrush competitor, right? Like it could be a more production tool.
No, but the thing is, it was like had they kept
Oh,
developing it,
it was a production tool. I agree.
it's just so weird that they just bought this tool and just did nothing with it.
Yeah, and like squashed it basically.
And the user base that they had was just crazy. They had everybody on that thing at a certain point.
Yeah. Let's smooth this. So like this is like where I wish it was better. Like, yeah, how hard is it for you to smooth this properly? It's all lumpy. Okay, that's good enough.
I'm gonna stop noodling. I mean, it's still like, that's what I mean here. Look at this lumpy crap. It's all like, ugh. I can do this really fast in ZBrush, but I hate leaving the software.
Soft image or image was amazing too. Yeah.
I remember people used to talk about, was it, I've heard people call it soft image and soft image. Why is it called?
I mean, it's soft image, but everyone calls it soft image.
Yeah, why is it pronounced like that?
I don't know, but it's spelled soft image. It's one of those like GIF or GIF things, but it's everyone calls it soft image. Mudbox was my first sculpting software before ZBrush. Sad to see how they just abandoned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. You know, it was developed by the modeling department at Weta. So it's not like they didn't have like amazing
It's when it's sold.
yeah, no, but I mean like the amount of input they were getting from Weta directly. Like Weta was a Mudbox house for a long time, and then after that, and they just eventually just went back to ZBrush because just nothing came out of it. Yeah, so Bobby's saying, yeah, they did pronounce it like that. Very French. Is that what it was? Was it because it was French? Can you imagine that your accent like basically defines the name of a piece of software forever? Like you're mispronouncing it and everyone mispronounces it with you. That's pretty awesome.
Well, you know, it sounds like you were being like you're being fancy.
Yeah.
Like, let me I don't know, say this word in the fanciest way. Let's kill the wireframe. I'm just trying to smooth this out because why not? Don't do shortcuts. I mean, I like to do as much shortcuts as I can, but I already know like I'm gonna pay for it.
Did they make Smog and Mudbox? I don't know Smog in particular, but I know King Kong was Smog. I know a lot of modelers at Weta were still using Mudbox up until recently. Like there was like factions.
Yeah. People got like really, I don't know, people get really political about like software and pipeline. One of the first things I tell students, like when if this comes up, that if they start working and they see something that's not as efficient, just don't say anything. Just do it. Like, don't question it. Don't start trying to go, you know, trying to change things. Just go with it. Okay, so now I'm back in this scene. I'm cleaning up my namespace. Okay, rename this. So it's A and C is done. Again, this is like what this mesh looks like. So when I extruded this, I didn't want all this extra geometry. The reason is because I didn't want to put UVs on it. And I just don't want to deal with any kind of collision because I'll be shot modeling that. And I don't want to shot model what I don't have to.
How much procedural software have we used in our career? We haven't used almost anything. Like for terrain stuff, maybe that's it.
Yeah, I actually want to get more. I mean, there's just never time. But if I were looking at where to invest my time, on things like I think I can improve, it would be getting much more into procedural work, like procedural modeling in particular. Like I just think like some things don't have to be modeled from scratch. And it would be much more powerful to just do things procedurally. Like I see like the stuff that Houdini can do when it comes to procedural modeling. It's just really impressive.
Yeah, Houdini is one of those programs that, speaking of stuff that isn't developed, Houdini is like a type of program that is developed all the time. Like it always blows my mind, the things it could do.
Yeah.
Right? It's like magical.
Yeah, it is magical. It's it
If I
feels
could go
like-
back to Gnomon as a student, I would become a Houdini guy.
Yeah, so when students are like, "Do you think I should take Houdini class?" I'm like, "Yes." So just take it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's one of the it's a very good move.
Do you agree though? Like, wouldn't you wanna?
Yeah, I mean, if I had more time, I would put like my time in doing Houdini stuff. I don't know if I would become an effects artist because the reason why I went to modeling and a lot of that can come from the fact that I did more like traditional artwork first. And so like it was figurative artwork and it just kind of was like, oh, I'm just going to do this because I gravitate towards that. But I would just do things not all by hand like this. Look at this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chatty's like you've been diving to it. I don't know what tool are you using Houdini? Chatty?
Yeah, I was doing the procedurals, terrain stuff. You would take a drawing class. Yeah, like to me, there's like a total fantasy just like going back to school and taking drawing classes and.
Yeah, there was a fantasy for a moment for us. But I kind of was like, oh, that's just not realistic.
What is to go back to? Oh, you mean we wanted to go for writing?
No, like initially when we first were like, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna try to
Oh, when we
become-
coming to
yeah, when we first came to LA, we're like, let's take all these like drawing classes, we'll improve like all our skills on the side while we're trying to be filmmakers. And it's like there's no time. Like yeah.
No, but I'm saying like to go back to Gnomon would be like the best.
Yeah, I do go like I don't know. If you guys ever get to visit Gnomon, the vibe is really amazing. It's like when I see the students, like, man, they just have it like really nice on this campus. So it's like a dream. It's a great incubator for growth. And I'm not trying to sell it. It really, like, if you guys ever get to see it, you guys will agree. Like, I guarantee.
Oh, there's always more studying to be done.
Yeah. I don't know if I have this thick enough. I'll just put this on the side. Let me save because I don't want to do it crashing.
It looks like stop motion Play-Doh. You know what? Stop motion Play-Doh is pretty cool. I love the smell of Play-Doh. Whenever I go back home to Miami and my nieces have all the Play-Doh stuff.
Play-Doh seems like fun. I didn't really have like Play-Doh when I was a kid. I didn't have a lot of stuff.
So when I was in Miami in December, I played with Play-Doh a lot with Isabella, and she would have me sculpt stuff, and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna show her how good I could sculpt. Play-Doh's not easy to sculpt with.
Yeah, it's like
It doesn't stick to its form. So you try to push something in, and it's kind of pillowy. So it just kind of like you push it in, and it kind of pushes back out a little bit. You're like, hey, what the hell? Carlos Guzman says, do you see AI being implemented in modeling tools? I see it implemented for like background stuff, like the type of like hero stuff. I think it's still very, very far away. But I think for like simple background props, you might be able to use it. You know, of course, I don't know for certain. Like if you would have told me that AI is as good as it is in this short amount of time, I would have never ever believed it.
yeah. I really like Miguel and I have this discussion all the time, and I always say to him like, I just did not think AI would have been possible in our lifetime. And I
Yeah.
don't mean just like art, but just like ChatGPT and all that stuff. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, like remember people would be like, what do you think? You just type in like make tree and you press enter and you get a tree, ha ha ha. And I was like, yeah, that's actually exactly what it is. It's pretty nuts. But I look, I think this is the reality is a lot of visual effects is just it's just pipeline stuff anyway, right? Like look at the stuff that Tran is doing. It's right now it's just like getting this thing with like pixel perfect precision so that it lights correctly. Like I don't know. I think we're still a ways away.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing that is kind of scary, but then at the same time, I didn't think it was. I don't think it is because it's just like any advancement in CG. Like when Substance Painter came out, like
So as the beta came out, you almost felt like texturing was gonna be finished because you're like, why do you even need to text? Like it's so simple.
yeah, texturing used to be much harder, like really, really hard. Very, because the tool was just like not there, and it was just tough. And I feel like it's like much easier because the tool supports like what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I think that did shrink like the modeling, the texturing department for sure. And you
Yeah,
know,
but you know what the thing is? It might have shrunk it, but it shrunk out a lot of the filler. Like the if it filtered out like the texture artist, it probably shouldn't have even been there. Like all the really good ones are still there.
yeah, all the really good ones still have their job, but it did remove like you said, ones where yeah, I won't say anything. So,
Humbling Play-Doh experience is a rite of passage at this point. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think, you know, this is what I think in terms of like concept artists are the probably the ones that feel like the most in danger. But I do feel that the concept art that was replaced is the generic monster with a radial blur uh in a kind of generic pose. I think that like AI still can't do storytelling in a concept art. I don't mean that in an artsy fartsy way, but like an image that tells a story where you're like, okay, I could see like a keyframe from a film where you're like, okay, this is the lighting of the film. I could see what is going on with the characters all with one image. That stuff AI cannot do, and I do not think it will ever do that because it doesn't understand any of the emotions. It's just seeing patterns. So I think storytelling in art is going to become more and more important. You have to be able to tell a story in concept art, and that's what's going to separate the AI from the real artist. Like if you're just making one monster with a radial blur background and smoke, you're screwed. But if you're doing like a real storytelling piece, and again, I'm not talking about filmmaking, I'm just talking about a concept art where you look at it, you go, oh, I know what is going on in that scene of the film as a piece of concept art. That stuff is not going to be replaced anytime soon. You see what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you still really need good artists. You just can't. You just need the person to like do certain things, like to have more control.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you can just art direct everything with AI because, and I'm not trying to like explain it. I just look at it and I go, well, it would be better if you had like a person do this.
Not just that, but I also think at a certain point, like, you know, we haven't been shy about like the fact that we're not AI haters. So right, we're like, okay, we have to see everything that is out there. We have to know every tool. So we don't hate on AI the way a lot of people are. We're also trying to never be delusional about it. Like there's some people that are like, oh, AI art looks like crap, and it's like, no, it doesn't. Like, to stop lying to yourself, because then that's when it becomes dangerous. Don't lie to yourself. AI art looks incredible. That being said, you know, you have to use it, and you have to know what its limitations are. And I completely lost my train of thought. What the hell was I talking about?
Well, you have to, if you start denying like what it is.
I started spacing out on your modeling.
Yeah, if you start denying like its possibilities, then you're just sticking your head in the sand. And then all the dangerous thing with that is that just makes you ignorant. You have to accept like, okay, this is what it is. You ain't gonna get rid of it. Like, let's adapt. But you know the thing is, I always felt like in working as CG artists, a lot of it is about adapting.
Yeah, I just think you have to learn you have to just learn the tools and see where you could use it for certain things. And that's it. And not, you know, we're never saying that AI is cool, like where you type something, press enter, and then put that in your portfolio. That's so freaking lame. But if there's certain tools, like we use Chat GPT all the time to make custom tools for us in Maya, like all the time. Like, oh, I need this to do this. I need this to do that, all the time, using AI to make Python scripts and whatever. Oh, I think I know what I was saying. So I was saying how we're not opposed to trying to use AI on our stuff if it could help us out with whatever, or just like playing around with the tools to see what's out there. Um, there, you know, when you're typing something and you're pressing enter and you don't get what you want, and you're just like, okay, well, let me just try again. Let me just try again. And before you know it, you're like 6 hours in pressing enter and still not getting what you want. If you just hired a good concept artist, it would have done it in 2 hours, like a guy like Sohail. Do you know what I mean? Like at a certain point,
Yeah, I don't think you can replace like
yeah, you
if
have
you're like really good, you're just not going to be
you're
replaced
just not going to be
because
replaced.
you're just really good. So, like, I don't see that hurting like, you know, artists that I think are really amazing.
I think for generic stuff, you're in trouble. I just think it makes you have to be that much better. But
Yeah.
just typing, just because you could get like a million concepts instantly, doesn't mean it's faster. It's faster to get something, but it doesn't mean it's faster to get what you want. You know what I mean?
Know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so this eye hole is not positioned very well. What can I do? I'll do this. Let's save.
You know, like stuff that I think AI would be awesome at, for example, is like if you had an assistant that is watching you work, right? And you're like, do you see what I'm doing? I'm connecting these loops. Do you see this? Just just finish it for me. Like you see what I'm doing. I'm showing you, I'm teaching you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. You could even be talking to it and be like, do you see how I'm connecting this and this? And you could just draw like I'm connecting this circle with this circle here. And it were to take over and finish doing those loops. Awesome. That'd be great.
Yeah. You can tell what I'm doing. I'm trying to make this whole line up with this whole somewhat so that I don't have like crazy misaligned eyes.
No, that's and that's that's the thing, Chatty. It's always funny to us is like you still can't mirror UVs easily, but
But you can, yeah.
you could do amazing concept art. Like what the hell?
Okay, let's like let's delete history. Let's save.
I feel like the way AI develops is like we got to Mars before we got to Utah. Do you know what I mean? Like we're like, yay, we can do this incredible stuff. We can do the craziest, most difficult thing. Merge UVs or mirror UVs. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do think like the CG industry is trying to adapt
Yeah.
things into it. And I think that's good. Like in
There-
terms of tools and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, and no, but and the thing that I was saying about Maya, I actually saw a demo online where they were showing this assistant in Maya, where you're telling it what you want, and it shows you how to do it in Maya, or it'll do it for you in Maya. The thing is, again, the tough thing with that is like if it doesn't do the right thing, you could just spend the entire day just trying to talk to this thing to do the right thing instead of just doing it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it could be like you having your own idiot employee.
Okay. I'm trying to.
The like the most advanced threadlings wear them.
Yeah. So they're like meant to be like the cool threadlings. Like, I guess Cot would, I don't know, aspire to be like these guys or something, no?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to have that kind of the rim. I just wanted to see what I did before. Now, I like did a quick UV, and the reason why is that it's very easy for me to select just this section. So when I go to delete, like I don't accidentally delete the other stuff. And let's just start deleting.
I met with Leica yesterday. That was cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. They're super nice. I always misspell Sohe's name. Or, yeah, I always put SOE.
Okay, so this is gone. That is gone. And I probably don't need this. Right. And then I kept some of the eye cap.
Yeah, Leica's awesome. They're one of our favorites for sure.
Okay, accidentally deleted. I keep selecting a bunch of other faces. There we are. Okay, so I'll just keep this. I don't want the shell to be too big because it's more UV space. Let's delete history. Let's get rid of these other versions I don't need. And then I'll save this again as a different file version. My favorite, Bobby says, Leica's awesome. It's my favorite movie is still Coraline. Like, I remember when it first came out, I felt like it didn't get like enough love.
It is now, though.
It is now, and that's kind of the interesting thing about stop motion. Like how Nightmare Before Christmas, when it first came out, it was people were just like, it's kind of scary. Right?
It was ahead of its time.
Yeah. And everyone's like, this is kind of scary. It's like, you know, people didn't like know how to respond to it. And then it just over the years, it's just people love it now. And then with me, I saw, you know, when I first saw Coraline, I loved it from the beginning. But I just felt like, why doesn't anyone else like, why are people not losing their mind over this? So
Yeah.
I read a comment. Mandala, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. But Coraline was still wonderful. Yeah, I saw the movie. I didn't read that book, but until after, and it's different. It's like really dark. I feel like I love the movie, but I feel like and I like the book a lot, but I feel definitely they kept it lighter in the movie, which I can see why, because I just feel like the tone was very creepy in the original book. But it's absolutely worth reading. Okay, let's resew this. So now I'm just UVing. And I'll just use the my checkers. I'm not a fan of these, but this will, some stretching up there is fine. It's pretty even on the inside. And I want to check this text density. It's not too high.
The book Coraline. I'd love to read that.
Yeah, it's really good. It feels darker, like the father. I remember it just being creepier.
You read it?
Yeah, a long time ago. I read it when
you went through like this reading rampage phase.
yeah, it's when I had more spare time. I don't read like as much anymore. It's kind of sad.
But I mean, you were reading like insane amounts.
Yeah, I haven't read that much. I used to when I used to work. When we were at Digital Domain, I used to read all the time because I had like a work-life balance, and I don't anymore. And then now, when I do have time, I just don't want to read. I just want to veg out. Okay, I now have to shrink everything just a little. So now, like my downtime, I don't like enrich myself at all. Like I just want to be, I want to be a zombie. Trying to play Tetris. I don't think I'm playing very well.
So you don't care about the UV. I mean, I guess this doesn't really matter, but you don't care about them being mirrored.
No, because in Substance, this is just going to have a simple material. But if it was,
If it was Hero, you would.
well, if it was Skin,
Okay.
because Skin
'Cause
goes,
you're doing all the hand stuff.
yeah, Skin does like, there's a lot of like work on the pores, and I don't want to double it up.
Yeah, yeah.
And normally I find mirroring your UVs are not as beneficial in Substance anyway.
In Mari, it used to be a necessity.
Yeah, well, in Mari I do. And I still teach my students how to do it. And they're like looking at it, it's like, why is it so complicated to mirror? I'm like, it's just how it is, man. Okay, I'm sorry. Unless you use a different tool. Okay. So let's dump this in here. Let's save. I just gotta merge these two. I gotta make sure like this doesn't. Yeah, so this is interpenetrating, which is bad. And that's why I deleted the inside. Yeah, this is why I didn't quite finish this part. I was just like, this part is annoying. This is really easy to fix in like ZBrush, and just not so much in here. Like I would just grab it, move it in. I'll just put another material on here. But like there's a move tool in here, but I don't think it's really good. But I don't think the Mudbox like move tool was very good either, to be honest.
I love the Mudbox move tool.
No, I think ZBrush Move is better.
Crazy talk.
No, it really is. It's like really good.
Crazy talk.
It's not crazy talk.
Crazy
Okay,
talk.
let's just see. Let's watch the interpenetration. Let's just do X-ray. Although, like, there's certain things I wish ZBrush could do. Like, I wish I could like see through the mesh sometimes.
Are we talking
like-
about the move brush
No,
or transpose tool?
the move brush. The move brush is like better.
And does.
Okay, no more interpenetration. Good. Let's clean these two. We're talking about like just to clarify, Mudbox's move tool versus ZBrush's move tool in particular. And what I'm saying is that ZBrush's move tool is like way better than Mudbox. And if you're younger, you probably have not used Mudbox. Like if someone says to me like, oh, they used to use Mudbox, like it tells me a little bit their age. The youngins Mudbox these nut. No, the youngins don't know what it is. They're like, what? There's a competitor?
I am going to, let's see.
Okay, so I have to merge these manually. And there's like a hole up here. Here it is. And then let's look for more holes. So I basically use the quadrar selection constraint, just the border, because what that does is it picks up anything that hasn't been merged. And then sometimes these things just don't really line up very well, and you have to do it manually. Like this count doesn't match up. Okay, that probably didn't damage UVs. Let's just double check. Yeah, so this count doesn't line up. I'll do this more carefully, see where the UVs are. So if I just reslice it, it will not disturb the UVs. And I don't want to overstretch it.
The youngins, muddies, nutbox. I don't know why I find that to be so funny.
It's because we're immature. Okay, so I have a hole here. Okay. Let's see how this withstood it. Let's like divide the checker more. Some stretching here. So from the merge, the way I merged it, some of this got stretched. So if I want to kind of help it out, what I can do is just select the inner UVs.
The delay is because I was replying to an email, so I wasn't paying attention to it initially. Huh?
Nothing. I'm just going to relax the inside. Okay, I can't. All right, just going to leave it alone. It will stretch in that little corner, but I don't think anyone will see it. Okay, so this is good. Shouldn't be no holes. I definitely don't want holes in the mesh because, okay, there's holes here because of light leaking. I thought I merged this. Did I not? There's a question. Yeah, we kind of do that.
Well, we do that. Yeah.
So
Think of it like this.
So what is
to
the
us? It's
question?
almost like you have to, like, I don't know, like we're in the middle of a storm and you just have to get it done. And it's like if you start nitpicking it, you're never gonna be ready for it. Do you know what I mean? You just have to pretend like I gotta just get this done. Is it the perfect thing? No, but you just have to survive because the storm is coming. I don't know. I think ultimately, there is such a thing as over art directing stuff. like when you look at some of the stuff from the original Star Wars movie, which is so iconic, all that stuff was just like crap thrown together from like junk that they found in a junkyard in the UK, right? Like all of that IG-88 is just a Derwent like engine just thrown together with a bunch of stuff, and it's like there's Hot Toys that you could buy of this character that's just literally made out of junk. And then you look at the new Star Wars movies, and there's so much bigger budget, and none of this stuff is really iconic, and it's super art directed, and it's so perfect. I don't know. I think there is such a thing as over art directing.
I think, you know, um, how do you guys design stuff on the fly about falling? I mean, that's kind of just how like we work, right? Like, I feel like my skill set is much stronger in 3D than 2D. So the idea of like having to spend all this time drawing something, it just feels like so much more work. Like I have to draw this for who? If it's just between Miguel and me, right? So it's like, well, I'm like much faster in 3D. So I just will just do whatever.
So you take that back. Grogu is iconic as fuck.
I mean, Grogu is pretty
Grogu,
cool.
he's iconic, but he's Yoda. So he's iconic because he's
He's
yeah.
cool, but I think what Miguel is saying, like, it's not new.
No, he's kidding too. He's just
Yeah.
he's just kidding. He's trolling.
What way the eyes rotated?
You know what? I really did like Mandalorian season 1 and 2. I thought it was. I thought they should have ended it there, but yeah.
Okay, let's mirror this eye.
That eye looks like a straight up like bomb from like the Green Goblin or something.
Looks like a bomb.
Yeah, you did a kick-ass job with that eye. That eye looks amazing.
Thanks. I think for me, like, just back to maybe addressing Chatty's question, like, just finishing that thought. I'm like really comfortable in 3D, so it makes sense for me just to concept from 3D. It's obviously slower than if I was comfortable in 2D. Like 2D is faster, but I feel fine with it. Does his eyes look mirrored?
You mean like symmetrical?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm like, is this symmetrical?
Yeah, they're looking off to the side a little. That's why they look a little bit.
Yeah, this guy is forward facing a little bit more, but it feels like for the structure of this face. Is it too off to the side? Like, is he just kind of like
No,
dirt looking?
I mean,
like this guy is looking a little bit more straight.
I mean, the one thing I'll say is, yeah, it will never look like they're looking straight. Like if there's like a fight scene, they'll always be looking like they're off to
Goofy,
the side.
a little goofy. I don't have this rotation anymore, so I don't know how much I rotated it. Well, I think in Threadlings, if they look kind of silly fighting, it's okay. Like they're just not that cool, and that's cool. Let's see how this looks at 18. I mean, I have to rotate it a certain amount because of this collision.
Hmm. Maybe the size is a little big. No. This stuff is tedious. Like, I made that fit. And you can see I'm like, Technically, this eye wants to fit like this.
The Grogu looks like a plushie being thrown around.
Okay, let's do the mirror test. Okay, so they're right on top of each other. Yay, okay, this mesh is complete. Let's see how I name this. So I can get this in. I didn't think I was going to get this in. Let's merge these two. This one is B. I didn't do B because I think I thought it was like kind of goofy looking. And I'm just looking at it again. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. And I thought the other guys looked cooler. I'm probably not naming everything right. Because I'm not being sharp right now. Let's make sure everything is lined up in my scene. And this temp body was just to see how it fits on the head.
That's so awesome.
So this guy here is like the base mesh.
That is one ugly model.
Yeah, it's super ugly. It's an extra.
Those extras without the clothing just look like just straight up like they look like idiotic Muppets.
They look like beginner models. Like someone.
They look like the guy that's interning at Jim Henson Studios, and they're not going to give him a job afterwards.
Yeah, like terrible.
They're like, I don't know about this guy. Every Muppet looks like a crash victim or something.
Look how funny that is.
I think the mask could be bigger.
Yeah, I think they have to be scaled up. That's okay. I'm gonna keep them at this size, and I'll worry about scaling them up later. But that's a really goofy fit, isn't it?
Yeah.
The thing is, their clothing, if you guys remember, and I don't expect you guys to remember, is they all have hats, right? Like think of like Eskimo type hats, where they're all like have something like that covers them. But that mask is too small. It looks really funny. Like we'll probably need. Let's save this. That's another scene. I'll call that rescale. Just make sure my pivot is in the center. Okay. I can't warp the shape. I can just refit him so he doesn't look bad. But I feel like the mask
Do you think it should be like this? This large?
Yeah.
That looks okay now, right?
Yeah.
And it's too wide.
Yeah, but you could lattice that.
Yeah, it can be lattice, but it changes like the shape. What I was trying to say is like they all have like some kind of puffy thing on them around their head.
It might be fine.
Yeah, maybe that's too big. I'm actually going to double check this because if I keep going, I'm just going to have more problems. It fits this guy pretty well. Let's just scale like 10% up. And the other one doesn't fit him as well. What I wanted to check. Let's come back here. Oh, this came back. I'll close this.
Look at that.
It like recovered at some point. What I'm looking for is like the extras. And I just want to pull the extra body. So that's the extra body. That other head is really bad. So if you guys don't remember, and again, I don't expect you guys to remember.
Look how cool that little guy looks. He looks so awesome.
Guess what he's based off?
Yeah, speaking of Grogu.
He's based off of E.T. and Grogu.
Yeah.
It's a background character. But they have Mr. Potato Head, so this is like their base body, and that's a base clothing. And then each extra has different eyes and like ears type stuff. They all have different clothing. So that's like one. It's Mr. Potato Head. That's another. That one's really weird. I think what I'll do is I'll just import this scene into here because I don't want to rescale off of this guy. I don't even know. He was temp and I just haven't combined them. So let's bring the Mr. Potato Heads extras in here.
The Mr. Potato Head.
And let's get rid of this temp body. And then maybe these guys make more sense. Let's start with A. Yeah, like it doesn't fit so bad. Obviously, if these guys have masks, they won't wear like the eyes, right? So like here, when we're looking at this one, like I can keep their ears or whatever, but I think the problem with this mask. Okay, so these guys are gonna have to have their own clothing. The problem with this mask here, it doesn't really fit with this hat very well. And I don't want to just rotate this down because then what I'll have is when the character's running, it's like looking down. So I rather just come up with a design of the clothing. So the base mesh can't change. Like this has to stay the same.
this can be bigger, and that helps it. And then what I'll do is just design like some kind of hat, and this will just be parented. It does have like the weird gap, but we'll try to cover it with a cloth because I don't really want to squish it. I actually like the shape.
Yeah, I agree.
Like this one fits, and that's probably why I don't like it as much. But this probably has to be scaled a little bit more.
Weren't we gonna put hoods on these guys anyway?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's just gonna be hidden.
Yeah. So you won't see how stupid they look from the side. This guy. So funny looking.
This guy's a little wide.
That's
But-
fine.
Let's see, C. I don't know if C has to be scaled. So now they would look like let's look at the lineup. They look different enough-ish, kind of. I think that's the thing with extras. There's like an art to it. Like if these guys looked too wildly different, then once they repeat, they stand out too much from each other. So when I was doing these variations, I was thinking like different they shouldn't be too different. And the reason is so that when you duplicate these, they don't feel too unique. This head looks like it needs to be tilted back. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's give this like -5.
Yeah, I really like how the left and middle sort of separate the horn eyebrow direction. Yeah, they're super cool. These owls are just so freaking awesome.
I also think there was probably a reason why I didn't carry the face back. I don't remember. I think it has to do with like some simulation around the neck area.
The reason you mean why the face is all in front?
Well, like why didn't I make the shape of the mask more like this? Like
Oh.
fill in that gap.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine too. These are extras. You're never supposed to like look at them like this. You're supposed to look at them straight on. Okay, these are okay. And I'll delete. Let's put this guy back. This will be the new temp body. Let's delete namespaces. Delete that I. Oh crap, I think it crashed from just freezing. No, it's good. Okay, so let's prep B. I don't know if these guys are prepped. So this is how one of the textures turned out for the other guys.
Jesus, that looks so beautiful.
I think the thing here, I like this, but then we ended up killing the color because only Zort could be red. I don't know.
Yeah, but these guys could be like his protectors,
Yeah,
like
because
the royal guards.
here's this version, and then I'll show you a version where we desaturated it. I should have paid attention to which file I opened. And then here's one where we're like, oh, maybe they should be gray. Do you like it with color or you like it gray?
The red. I mean, I like the gray ones too, but damn, those red ones look incredible.
Let's see if I let's kill the color correction.
I mean, that does look cool in gray too.
Yeah, it's loading. I'm gonna turn off the. So that is. Which one's better?
I mean, the color one is amazing.
I would do color.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of live, these characters live in like a beigey world. Sorry. Like everything is so beige. I agree with that. So let me set these guys up. I think this is like a good, well, we'll go on for a little bit more. I'll bring these in. Just trying to like recall these names. So just give all these like their own shader.
Yeah, the gray is nice. It is beautiful. Chatty likes gray.
Yeah.
But the red is, I don't know. They're both beautiful. The ultimate question is which one makes a better toy? If it was a toy, which one would you buy?
I think I would go for the color. So I'm just trying to assign these names. Which I'm not naming things correctly. Mask. Yeah, let's wrap this up.
I would empty my bank on the red one. So Netbug, we have his first purchase of the $2,000 action figure. It's pretty sweet. Can you put your credit card number in the chat, please? So we have two purchases. Credit card in the chat, please.
My copy and paste is not working. Okay.
Social security number too.
Yeah, don't do that. He's joking, but just in case.
You got 3 purchases, Chatty.
So I haven't come back to this for a bit. Yeah, we're like, let's just wrap this up. The one thing that I will need to have is like my color palette, so that they're consistent. And I don't remember what was driving it in one of these layers, so I'll have to figure that out. But don't feel like it's these. Oh, one of these is driving the color. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn this into smart material so that I have the same stuff and just start from this whole giant thing. Let's just do that. This way, next week.
That is the discount, Chatty.
What did you say the price was? I was not paying attention to you.
$2,000.
I'll call this thread owl. Let's create smart material. This will be all prepped.
Can you imagine? Those are like those PCS toys. They are like $2,000, $3,000. The statues, like the big third scale Oh my god! Could you imagine a third scale? Well, third scale for these guys, considering they're like Smurf size, would be like 2 inches.
2 inches.
They'd be like 2 inches tall.
Yeah, but I don't think they would do that. They would make them as if.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. We're good.
All right, guys. You guys are awesome. You know, we're gonna have a lot more shot progression soon.
Yeah. We're
doing some stuff behind the scenes, but we're gonna be showing you some cool stuff very soon. Cool. So thanks everybody, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, bye everyone.
Thanks Gnomon, thanks Dell and NVIDIA, and talk soon. Bye-bye.